doxxing. 5 to 10 grand for kidnapping of ICE agents or Customs and Border Patrol agents, non-lethal assault. $50,000 for the assassination of high-ranking officials. Whew. Here's Greg Bavino. He works in Chicago. Says he had a bounty on his head. Watch.
We've got $50,000 bounties on the heads of federal law enforcement officers. We have criminals ramming vehicles, criminals bringing guns to protests. This is not regular street crime here in Chicago. We have assaults on Border Patrol agents, ICE officers, and our allied law enforcement agencies every day, often multiple times per day. And again, these assaults, the lethality of these assaults is increasing.
How can your officers respond to that effectively?
Well, there's power in numbers. There's safety in numbers. Secretary Noem, ever since that terror attack we saw in Dallas, she's been hardening our ICE facilities. President Trump has called in the National Guard, a very prescient and great, strong leadership we've seen from the President of the United States. But, I mean, we are seeing a coordinated, highly organized waging of war on our law enforcement on the streets of Chicago. These men and women are simply enforcing the rule of law and doing their job, and yet there's these foreign terrorist networks who are going after them. They're using a tiered system of bounties to go after them, whether it be doxing their family members, kidnapping, even murdering these brave men and women.
Hey, welcome into Courageous Media. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. So we've got phenomenal news. It's ugly. But the cartels, the drug traffickers, the human traffickers, the cartels have started to issue bounties now against ICE officials, not just high-ranking ICE officials, but basically anybody. A tiered system. Dox an ICE agent gets so much money. Murder an ICE agent gets so much money. Assassinate a high-ranking ICE official. Ooh, now you're talking $50,000. This is absolutely insane. And it is time for the gloves to come off. That's what I say. Let me know what you think. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Everybody could please smash that like button. Let me know that you're here in the comments. We'd love to hear from you and where you're from. But let's dive back in because we've got the ICE spokesman. She was on a different element of Fox News and was talking about this very thing, the fact that cartels are now not just doxing, but they are actually issuing bounties on ICE agents for their death. This is absolutely insane. So check this out.
Disturbing, Sandra. Homeland Security investigations, the FBI, our interagency intelligence partners are really all over this. What we're seeing, as you mentioned, is this tiered system, this coordinated and highly organized waging of war against our law enforcement and a terror campaign against them. We're seeing that they're offering $2,000 for intelligence about our ICE law enforcement agents including their family, to dox them, $5,000 to kidnap an ICE law enforcement agent, and then even more money to kill them. And we've talked a lot about on this program and on other programs on this network about these ICE apps to locate ICE and CBP agents. And it's not just obstruction of justice that we've been seeing with that. We're also seeing this. They're now handing intelligence over to these cartels, these criminal rings, to go after our law enforcement, harass them, dox them, kidnap them, and God forbid, kill them, Sandra. It's very disturbing.
So you've got this going on. You've got the actual money people now. Things are getting very, very ugly in this whole situation. Trump has declared Antifa a foreign and domestic terror organization. They've started evidently the process, from what we understand from government sources, they've started the process of tracking the money all the way back to the donors and starting to unravel Antifa from the foundation. But Antifa is intertwined with the cartels, with the leftist organizations, with all the NGOs. The cartels are in bed with the NGOs who are getting billions of government laundered tax dollars in order to facilitate illegal immigration, which along with that came then other elements of human trafficking, drug trafficking, you name it. Well, Trump is starting to strike at the heart of all of this stuff now. And the cartels, because Trump basically declared the cartels a foreign terrorist organization, the cartels have started to come after, trying to come after Trump. They've tried to come after ICE. They're doing so. They're issuing bounties on ICE in the United States. And they're using their willing sycophants in the leftist protester group to facilitate this. And I believe it's time for the gloves to come off, both internally and externally. Now, check this out. This was something that happened basically over the last couple days, where ICE were again involved with protesters, with rioters, with insurrectionists who rammed their ICE vehicle and then tried to incite violence from that point. This is getting out of control. This is going to end up with people, ICE agents and potential rioters, insurrectionists, and potential innocent bystanders getting killed. That's why I say the gloves have to come off now, and this has to be squelched now. Check out this story from just a couple days ago.
Stopped physically. DHS says one of them, or both of them, I should say, are Venezuelan and in the U.S. illegally. One of them had an order for removal from 2024. A crowd formed up, and Chicago police say they started throwing rocks. So tear gas and other crowd control weaponry was used to disperse the people. Meantime, the fence surrounding the ICE facility here in Broadview, Illinois, is down. It came down with an hour to go before the court-ordered midnight deadline. The mayor of Broadview acknowledged that the protests here get out of control, so the area on the southwest side of the ICE facility has been declared a no protest zone, primarily to keep people from walking into traffic. The demonstrators are now restricted to a small zone here on the northeast side, and the protesters don't like it.
It seems like they're trying to push us out or trying to make it so the protest is less effective. I'm not the only one that feels this is unconstitutional. People are going to get more angry and they're going to come out.
Unconstitutional? No, it is not unconstitutional for protesters to be forced into a certain area. What is entirely unconstitutional is for protesters / rioters / insurrectionists to impede U.S. federal agent activity, to impede ICE law enforcement activity, to ram their vehicles, to try to stop their vehicles by standing in front of them, to follow their vehicles around when in other vehicles, honking their horns, flashing their lights, yelling, "Here comes ICE." What is unconstitutional is to have apps that declare where ICE operations are taking place so that they can be impeded. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. And now this has been further exacerbated by the cartels and the funding organizations offering bounties, financial bounties for doxing, kidnapping, or, God forbid, the killing of ICE and CBP officers. This is absolutely nuts. Now, that's why I say it's time for the gloves to come off. First of all, the appellate circuit or the Supreme Court needs to step in and say, no. This ridiculous judge's ruling that says you can't put up fences around ICE facilities and that the National Guard cannot be deployed are over, done. The National Guard, if they're going to declare bounties on our ICE officials, they need to be surrounded by National Guard. And frankly, I think it's time for the gloves to come off. You cannot get within, at this point, you cannot get within 5 feet of an ICE agent. I mean, if you do, I think they should start not just pepper bullets and tear gas. Lethal force will have to start being used. If they are under threat of assassination or kidnapping from cartels, from foreign terrorist organizations, then they need to be able to use lethal force basically at the first sign of provocation. This is getting ridiculous. And I think it's time for the gloves to fully come off overseas. Now, this is an older video, but check this out from Jesse Waters. It's time for us to see this type of activity in spades. It's time for us to take the fight to them on their turf and absolutely annihilate these groups. Check this out.
Cartels are now officially in the Pentagon's crosshairs. And it's not just the wall anymore. Trump ordered the kill shot. The days of local drug busts and random motels, they were fun, but that's Breaking Bad stuff. Trump wants to take the fight to El Chapo's front yard.
We're talking about sending military forces to fight against the drug cartels in Latin America. Do you think it's worth sending our forces, our U.S. forces there to take this on?
Cartels where?
Central Latin America.
Well, Latin America's got a lot of cartels. They've got a lot of drugs flowing. So, we want to protect our country. We have to protect our country. We haven't been doing it for 4 years. And we love this country like they love their countries. We have to protect our country.
We have to protect our country. And now we have to protect our ICE and CBP officers from potential assassination for financial gain from these very same cartels. So we have been bombing drug boats coming out of Venezuela. That is not enough. Based on this latest information of cartels issuing bounties on U.S. law enforcement agents domestically, I believe it's time for the gloves to fully come off, not just the occasional drug boat here and there. I think we need to have CIA pinpoint where these cartel production facilities are, where cartel leadership houses are, where cartel safe houses are, where cartel distribution points are. And I don't care what country they are in, we need to drone strike them all. We need to start with dozens of drone strikes a day. Take these people out, take the cartels out exactly where they stand, kill them where they stand, all of them. This is getting ridiculous. They have declared war now on U.S. law enforcement personnel, which means they have declared war on the United States. Well, I think war is exactly what we should give them. All full von Clausewitz, war, total war. Let's hand it to the cartels. They wanted it. Now I think they should get it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up as we deal with some crazy, crazy issues.